Let's read new release books. I just finished one called The Astral Library by Kate Quinn. It's a fantasy, historical fiction, magical realism book. The FMC Alex, she's having a hard time in her life and basically finds herself at a library because she has nowhere else to go. And in that library, there's another library that she's able to enter, and that's the magical library. In this magical library, they're able to go into books and kind of live in this story. It's all cool and all, but she finds out that there's this issue that the library has, and she's gonna try to help fix it. So like I said, I did finish this book just now. I like the concept of this book. However, I felt like not too entertained by it. I felt like I wasn't really in there with her, ironically, in the book. So some of the rules are when you go into the books, you cannot be the main character. So basically, you cannot be Sherlock Holmes in the Sherlock Holmes book. And also, you can only go into public domain books. So you cannot go into a recent book like ACOTAR. You have to go into something that's public domain like Emma by Jane Austen or Sherlock Holmes or a Charles Dickens book. You get the idea. And then there's this whole wardrobe department that helps you pick out your outfits before you go into those stories so that you match your outfit with the time there. So that was really cool. I enjoyed that part. Where it kind of fell off for me was, I guess the beginning was like, oh, this is so cool, this concept. But then as I keep reading it, it wasn't the best encapsulating story. It felt very much like she's in these books, but she comes and goes, and so do the characters. There was just no weight to the story, and therefore no weight to the main character. I couldn't find myself as interested as I wanted to be. And then also there is a romantic love interest for her, but I wasn't feeling the romance. And that's almost worse, that you're trying to have a romance, but the romance isn't working for me. The book, I feel like I'm talking about it like it's a terrible book, but it's not. It's just there. So which is why I rated it 3.75 stars. I wouldn't recommend it to someone, but I also wouldn't be like, no, you should not read that, because it was just so middle. Which is disappointing because I really wanted to like this book, and it's the first book I have read by this author, Kate Quinn. But yeah, it fell a little flat. So now I'm currently in the middle of the audiobook for No Matter What by Cara Bastone. This will be my first Cara Bastone book. I know Cara Bastone is a very popular author with the other books, Ready or Not. So I think with Cara Bastone books, I think she's known for her contemporary romance books, but it's very heavily with a topic of very heavy things. So it's not a very light, fluffy book. So in this book, there is already a married couple, so it doesn't start off with the butterflies and stuff like that they have to get there to the marriage stage. Their marriage is in trouble because of this life-altering accident that happened. So with this life-altering accident, it looks like they're both starting to drift away from each other and are on the verge of divorce. So what's a girl to do? Distract herself, of course. So she does that with her artist hobby. She's very good at drawing people, so she uses that as a distraction to fill up her time. So now, so far where I'm at, it looks like her best friend is the husband's younger brother. And it looks like all three of them went through this horrible accident together. And she's currently just wondering what her husband is thinking, because he didn't even tell her that he's moving out. And then we also get his point of view too, but we're not sure what the heck's going on. It's kind of more of a, are they gonna work this out or not? So now I'm going to pre-make some food for my daughter while I listen to the rest of this audiobook, and then I'll be right back and let you know what I think of the entire book overall. No matter what. It's different. It's sad. Well, it has to be because they're navigating their relationship after this huge traumatic event, and it changes the dynamic of their relationship and how bonded they feel together. And I feel like this book touched on a lot of important points, something that really should not be looked over, and it does something different than what normal romance books do. So I applaud Cara Bastone in that aspect. However, I don't know that I was super into the book. I get that drawing is her outlet, but I didn't feel like I cared much. I only started caring toward the end when they kind of were talking about their relationship and what they're going through. So I feel like I had to get through a lot to get to the meaning that Cara Bastone wanted me to get to. I'm kind of struggling with what rating I should give it, because me personally, I wasn't super invested in it, and I wanted it to be more impactful to me. I'm going to give this a 3.75 stars. I want it to feel a little bit more. So I'm sorry. So I just read the Goodreads review, and it seems like other people are kind of thinking the same thing, that it's really either great and there's love for Cara Bastone in general, but then also that it's not their favorite book out of all the Cara Bastone books. So it's not gonna make me shy away from Ready or Not or Promise Me Sunshine. This book was different. I liked it in that it was different because it was interesting in that way. Okay, so the next book I'm gonna read is Falon Ballard's Toe to Toe, which just came out today, actually. I have the ebook for it, so I'm gonna read it on my phone, but it looks like it's fake dating. With her being a ballerina, she needs to up her sex appeal, and so she decides to hire a dancer to do so. But yeah, let's read Falon Ballard's Toe to Toe. It's the next day and I am 19% of the way through. So far what I'm getting at is that the FMC is a ballerina who is trying out for a part that requires her to have more sex appeal, I guess. Technique-wise and experience-wise, she's a really good ballerina, but for this next role in particular, they're wanting someone with a lot of sex appeal because that's what the character of that principal role is, and she feels like she doesn't have it. So when she goes to her sister's bachelorette party, they all go to a strip club and she sees that the main male dancer exudes a lot of sex appeal. So she wants to hire him to help her learn how to have more sex appeal. In return, he wants her to be in a couple of their shows to perform. I don't know how that works because I thought a stripper club would be like nothing mixed together. I don't know how it works. So far, the book is fine. The storytelling, I feel like the premise, I'm not like the most interested, but I'm hoping that it doesn't go a particular way where it's only physical attraction because he's trying to teach her how to have more sex appeal, and then that'll just be the storyline. I hope that's not the case. So I'm holding out hope, but for right now, it's okay.
Say that you'll stay holding me close, swear it's alright. Yeah. Baby, I feel the rush, everything that you touch.
We went book shopping. Mostly I bought baby books for my daughter, but I also picked up something for myself, As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. This is something I've been wanting to read for a while now. It's a young adult contemporary romance, but it's also historical fiction because it's set in the early revolution days of Syria. I know that this is really popular and the cover is just so beautiful. I saw it and I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to read this for a long time and I love the cover, so I'm gonna get it. So I got that, and I also got these really cute bookmarks, so let's open them because they're so cute. Look at, how cute is that? It's a bookmark. That is adorable. Oh my gosh. That's so cute. Oh my goodness. The lighter color is cute too. That's so cute. Oh my goodness. That is adorable. So yes, that's what I got. I haven't made any progress at all with Toe to Toe since the last time you saw me. So I'm going to wash up for bed and then I'll see you again. It's the next day and I am meeting my friend later, so I got us some Krispy Kreme donuts for us to try. They have these St. Patrick's Day donuts and then also some additional like Oreo collaboration donuts. Yay! So this is the cheesecake, shamrock, chocolate truffle, raspberry cheesecake, Oreo, and then the regular glazed donut. So I'm not going to try any of them right now. I'm going to try them with her later. So yeah. So even though I'm not going to eat any of this right now because I'm going to wait to eat with my friend, the lady also gave us some free glazed donuts, which was so nice of her. So I'm going to eat that along with the Americano I just made. And now I just simply get to read and relax. Ah yes, he is indeed a stripper. It is a couple of days later and I am finally done with this book. Thank goodness, because it was so bad. Okay, I don't want to be too mean, but also, what was that? I know it's only March, but I am predicting that this book is going to be the worst book I read this entire year. So remember how I was concerned that it was going to be all lust-based because the whole premise was for him to have her realize her own inner sexiness. And I now realize, thanks to this book, I just don't like this kind of premise. I thought that I just didn't like the kiss quotient, but that's part of it. I guess I just don't like the premise of the MMC teaching the FMC how to understand her own inner sexiness. It's not a premise that works for me. If it works for you, great. If you like this book, maybe you'll like this book. Not really, because this book was really not written very well. I feel like this book was written better, and I DNF'd this book. And this one I read all the way through because I wanted to give you an actual review, and it was such a hard time going into this book because I was not wanting to pick it up and I was really bored. He is a walking red flag. Why would you write this kind of character? If it were real life, this guy doesn't change. He will just keep on behaving this way and talk to her this way, and I don't like that. I am not rooting for them, and I was not rooting for them to be together. Also, in the beginning, it's a dual point of view, so he tells you that he has some big secret that he cannot tell her. And we find out the secret, and I'm just like, why can't you just tell her that? And then in general, the story was just kind of boring for me, unfortunately. I found myself skimming a little bit, and I was just like, I had to force myself not to skim because it was so boring. Oh, I feel so bad. In the end, I rated this 2 stars. Is that too harsh, or is that too generous? I don't know. But it's a romance book, and I didn't feel the romance. I wasn't rooting for the two to be together, and the story itself was just very meh. Okay, fine, I'll use the word selfish. He sounds really extremely selfish and arrogant. The first Falon Ballard book I read was Change of Heart, and I liked that book. I enjoyed it. The second book I read was Just My Type, and I hated that book. And then this one, I really don't like it. So that's 2 books consecutively that I have read from her that I don't like. It is not even like a meh. It's really like I don't like this book. So honestly, I don't think I will pick up another Falon Ballard book. With Toe to Toe, I was catfished by the front cover because it was so beautiful. I like pink. I like ballerinas. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry if that review was harsh. So for our next book, we are going to read, and I have actually already started, Half His Age by Jennette McCurdy. I say I've already started it because I did start this, but I stopped because the Toe to Toe by Falon Ballard was going to expire, the ebook, so I had to put a pause on this one. But now I get to restart this one again. Jennette McCurdy wrote this book. She was on the iCarly show and the Cat and Sam spinoff as well. I enjoyed this book. I enjoyed the humorous tone in it. And I'm sure you guys know that this is about her actual life with her relationship with her mom. So this one is her fiction debut. So Half His Age is going to be about a minor getting into an adult relationship with an adult, specifically her teacher in high school. And actually, when I watched her Call Her Daddy podcast, she did say that when she was a minor, she was in an adult relationship with, I think, someone who works on the set of iCarly or something like that. So she did have some kind of experience, and I guess she drew from that and wrote this book. She still kind of has the same humorous tone that she did in this book. However, I would say that so far it's a little more crass. I think she's kind of doing this on purpose to write the way that a 17-year-old who would get into an adult relationship would think. She has lower self-esteem because she doesn't have a good relationship with either of her parents. Her home situation isn't great. Her financial situation isn't great. So the way that she narrates this book is kind of reflective of that. She curses a lot in this book. I was actually not prepared for how much cursing there is and how raw she talks about her relationship with him. Okay, look. In general, I don't curse, but I find it really funny when other people curse, but in the right way. Sometimes when some jokes are delivered with the curse words, they make it more impactful and way more funny. So in that sense, I like hearing those words. It's really funny. However, I'm not sure that I was prepared for how much cursing there is in this book. Because Jennette McCurdy, she talks very well. She is so well spoken. But I will say is that the book reads really fast because the chapters are like super short. Sometimes it's like 2 pages long. It's really, really short, and you just kind of like flip through it because this does feel very raw and she's very open with it. If you're uncomfortable with the age gaps in general for romance books, I don't recommend you read this one. I personally don't really mind age gaps. For example, Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I don't really mind the age gap. This one, yeah, it feels a little uncomfortable. But I will say it's a way more entertaining than Toe to Toe. So I'm going to continue to read this book and restart it. I am currently on page 150. Yes, this teacher is married, so there is going to be talk about infidelity here. And I have no idea how this will end. I'm going to continue to read this tonight. As for right now, I really feel so accomplished and just want to like kind of away the Toe to Toe book. I'm going to work out a little bit and then get back to reading. Yeah. I finished Half His Age by Jennette McCurdy. Okay, first of all, I would not have picked this book up had it not been Jennette McCurdy as the author. And staying true to her first book, I think this follows the same kind of dark comedy that she has in the first book. And like I said, it's a 17-year-old getting with her creative writing teacher who is a 40-year-old. And the creative writing teacher, Mr. Corgi, he is not happy with his life. And Waldo, our FMC, she doesn't have a stable home life. So it's interesting to see the perspective of this teenager who is pursuing this 40-year-old teacher. Because sometimes you wonder, like, how the heck does this happen? And then I see it happening in this book, and I think that's really unfortunate. We stay in her perspective the entire time, so it's interesting to see how she thinks that she's the one in control when she's pursuing him. But in reality, she's just an easy target. And also, she has a shopping addiction which she tries to use to fill her void, but obviously she still feels the emptiness. And as a child, she's just so alone, so she's having to parent herself. Her father's gone and her mom's always running off with different guys, so she kind of learns how to weaponize her sexuality from her mom. Her mom doesn't really care where she is, so she's just kind of left alone to do whatever she wants whenever she wants. So with this freedom and very much lack of parental figure, I guess she finds this authoritative figure in the teacher, Mr. Corgi, and that's just so sad. I felt so sorry for her. I'm just following her through this self-destruction and poor choice making, and it's just so heartbreaking. And Jennette McCurdy, I think, is a good writer, but the style of writing that she chose to write with, we know that this character is smart, but then also she talks very plainly in a crass way, so it almost brings you down a peg. So it's almost like this imbalance, which is very representative of her character, because she is this smart person. However, she's not raised in a great situation, so because of that, she doesn't know how to kind of elevate herself. So I thought that was interesting, because her thoughts itself, it's very intriguing and very insightful, but also some of the thoughts are like, oh, is anyone reading these pages from behind me or something? I wouldn't recommend this book per se. However, I feel like my curiosity is satiated because I was really interested to know how her novel will go. I don't think you should look at it as a romance story. I think you should look at it as a lit fic, and please really consciously know that you are reading a story about a 17-year-old getting with a 40-year-old, which is gonna be uncomfortable. The thing is, this book was written well for what it was, and we all know what this book is about going into it. Like, the title just shows you already with the cover, but then I'm actually reading it and I'm like, oh dang, this is definitely outside of my comfort zone. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna give this a 3.75, but with the caveat that I feel like it was written well and I got a lot of insight from it too. However, I wouldn't want to read this again. So if you're interested in her writing, I would give it a try if you're not too concerned about the information in here. That is all for this video. I am going through my 26 books of 2026 really well. I have to look and see how many books I have left. I feel like I've read a lot of it and crossed off a lot of it. I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys had fun watching this video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!